All right, welcome into the inaugural voyage of the 2027 MLB Draft Spotlight Show. Nobody better than Eastvale shortstop Dylan Seward to kick this thing off. Dylan, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Hey, let's start with this, Dylan. I start every show like this. Who is Dylan Seward? On the field, off the field. Tell me about your tools in between the white lines, but when you're not playing ball, what are we doing off the field?
I'm a ultra competitor. I love to win. In anything I do on the field, off the field. My tool set, I'd say I'm a five tool player. Can really run, really pick it. Can really hit for average, flash some power. Got that six tool high IQ too, I like to say. Yeah, that's on field. Super competitive, like I said, just, hard worker, love to, fly around the field and, plays the game like it's my last with a lot of energy. Off the field, I'm a great student. Class, grades first. My mom harps on me about it all the time, and I make sure to get my work done in the classroom. Uh, well raised kid by great parents, great family. Spends time with my friends. I like to play pickleball in my free time, work out, hang out, stuff like that.
I've done a lot of these shows over the years, and I think back to Bryce Rayner. I think back to Billy Carlson. I think back to some of these Southern California shortstops. And I'm curious, do you consider yourself a quote unquote Southern California shortstop?
Yeah, of course. I think, being from SoCal and I don't know, there's something about it. Just the shortstops out here are different and the track record is there to prove it. Yeah, I consider myself one.
Now you talk about the six tools on the field. I'm curious, of those six tools, what's the one once we get through this summer? What's the one that you want to focus on this fall, this winter to kind of get it, kicked into another gear for 2027?
Um, I would just say the bat to ball, especially in high school, it gets a little tougher sometimes, you face some adversity whether it's umpires or stuff like that, but I think just staying my approach and staying within myself and knowing what I can and can't handle, uh, you know, I think
Okay.
that ought to be it.
Behind you there, is that a Derek Jeter jersey?
Yes, sir.
Is that your hero?
Uh, I don't know about my hero, but I grew up watching him a lot. My dad's a Yankees fan, so I kind of, got raised into it. But yeah, it's my guy.
Ever since you were like 15 years old, you've been getting the Francisco Lindor thing, right? Kind of shorter stature, switch hitter, can do it all. Is that the guy you model your game after, or do you watch someone else and kind of take pieces of their game?
I don't really think that I model my game after anybody because I like to be my own player and stuff like that. And so I don't ever try to, model my game after somebody, but I think a good comp for me would be a switch hitting Bobby Witt because he's a, twitchy, got a cannon, he's athletic, he's fast, can hit, I'd say I'm a switch hitting Bobby Witt Jr.
Okay, I like that. I want to ask you again about the Southern California thing because you grew up playing everything, soccer, basketball, flag football. Do you do you miss playing all of those sports still now that you've kind of mostly dedicated yourself to baseball and do you think any of those sports still influence the way that you play the game of baseball?
No, 100%. I mean, I'm super thankful for my parents for, allowing me to play as many sports when I was young. And I'd advise every little kid to play, soccer and, flag football or basketball, all those as many sports as you can growing up, just to, you're young, like you still want to have fun. You don't want to dedicate one sport for your entire life. So, and just having those memories too. We look back at it and we talk about it and how much fun playing soccer was, and it was soccer was up there for me, and my parents loved it, I loved it, and I think it really helped me become the player I am now. Using those different muscles and using that different parts of your brain, and using your body differently, moving in different ways that you wouldn't on a baseball field. So I think it really helps you become more athletic and be more aware of your body.
Okay, I'm bringing a new question into the fold this year. I've never asked this question, but I'm curious, and I think I'm going to test it out on you. If if you could spend a day shadowing or learning from someone outside of the sport of baseball? And it doesn't even have to be an athlete, but like an entrepreneur, an artist, a scientist, a politician, whatever. Is there someone that you would like to spend a day with to kind of pick their brain and see how they operate, see how they work?
Um, maybe I think Shaq might be a good one actually.
Ooh, okay.
Because he played, in the NBA obviously, and so he played a sport at the highest level, but then, once he retired, he did it the right way and he's still extremely wealthy as we all know now. So I think, kind of seeing his process and his mindset, as a player and then, as his career finished up, what to go into and what to look for and, kind of pick his brain in that sense.
Multi-dimensional.
Right.
Okay. You were part of an interesting play at Team USA in Cary. You stole home, which you don't see very often, but I don't think it was talked about enough. You stole home against your teammate, Jordan Ayala, who was on the mound at the time. AJ Pierzynski in your ear, third base. Can you talk me through that? And I mean, are you gonna buy Jordan lunch? Like, what was what's next here?
No, no, I mean, it was nothing against him. I mean, I told him this too after. I mean, like we're buddies, we hang out all the time, on the weekends, during school, stuff like that. So we're real close, but I told him when we get on the field, we're competitors. So I'm trying to beat you and he's trying to beat me. So uh I got a little hit off of him and I got to third and the first pitch I fake stole home and he was in his windup. I fake stole home and Pierzynski was like, "Hey," he looked at me. He's like, "Hey, I think you got that." And I was like, "I don't know, I might." And then he's like, "Try it right now. Like, go ahead right now." And I looked at him. I was like, "Are you serious?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm serious. Go right now on this pitch." I was like, "All right." So I got a big lead, and I've done it before when I was younger too. Like 12U, I used to steal home quite a few times, but I haven't in a while. And I just got a good jump and slid in safe.
One of the fastest players in the class. I'm curious if you think you have another gear or what we're seeing now is peak Dylan Seward.
No, I can always get faster. I haven't even been training with my running guy as much as I'd like, but I think I could really get into the extra gear.
Dylan, I think you're in a unique position because you have been the quote unquote top ranked high school prospect in the 27 class now for well over a year. Your talent kind of stands up for itself. What is that like for you, seeing your name plastered atop rankings or boards or mock drafts or anything like that, especially now that we are in your draft cycle? How are you handling that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great, looking on social media and whatnot, people talking about you, this or that. But, me and my family, we keep me humble and, grounded. So, I don't let myself get big headed. I know what I got to do to get to the dreams that I want to achieve. And, I like to keep my head down and just keep working. No, I'm not there yet. Staying healthy and, being able to stay consistent in all aspects and, have a strict routine throughout the week to allow myself to, get to that point that I want to get at when it comes to next July.
Sounds like you're all business most of the time.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, so how about this? I ask this question every year, and for someone that has had the highlights that you have, I'm curious to know what your answer is going to be. Adversity. What have you gone through, Dylan, either on the field or off the field, that's kind of helped shape where you are today?
Yeah, I actually faced a ton of adversity when I was 13 years old. I was super undersized then, moving to the big field and puberty didn't really kick in by then, but I dealt with it. I was undersized on a big field. Guys were much bigger than me. The game kind of sped up on me and stuff like that, but I still knew the player that I was, and it just kind of put a chip on my shoulder. And I got into the weight room. I started training hard, working out, sticking to the plan that my parents and I have created. Didn't let it get to me negatively. Um, I got into the gym, like I said, 13U, 14U, 15U. And then I went out on the summer in 16U and, kind of exploded. And everyone was like, wow, like, where's this guy from? But, I just been behind the scenes, working my butt off and put in the time.
It seems like effort is kind of your seventh tool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it fits just based on the way that you're presenting yourself for sure. Let's hit you with some questions out of left field and get you out of here. And I'm excited to do this with you as a West Coaster. Let's say you have to, let's start here. Let's say you play ball for another 20 years, two decades, right? Dylan Seward coming out of the batter's box. You can't change your walk-up music. You got to pick one song for the next 20 years. What are you comfortable rolling with?
Dang. Um, that's tough. I've had a different one every year. I actually switched mine mid-year this year, but maybe last year I had Crew by Goldlink. I think that one's a classic. I like it. It fits well.
Okay, we'll go with that. West Coaster now. What's the most overrated fast food joint in America? What's the most underrated fast food joint in America?
Most overrated is Whataburger, and most underrated is underrated is tough. I mean, my main fast food joints are In-N-Out, Chick-fil-A, Chipotle. I wouldn't say any of those are underrated, but yeah, those
You
those got to
gotta
be the top three.
you gotta stop on like the showcase or tournament circuit that you've popped into that you're like, man, that's a sleeper right there.
Um, Not there's been a few like really good restaurants, but I don't know about fast food. When I'm out of state, my pops and I we like to go find these restaurants that are like just located in that specific area instead of getting the same old Chick-fil-A that they have it across the whole country. So we like to find those nice restaurants that are specific to that town or city.
I like that. That's how I like to travel too.
Yeah.
Uh, Dylan, how about this? Let's say you're the number one pick in 2027. Long way to go, but let's say you're it. Who is the number two pick in the draft? And it can be for any reason you want.
Um. Um. Number two pick. I don't know. Maybe Brendan Lawson. They got him up on there. On
Hmm.
the high up there. I haven't really watched him play too much. I don't know what he has or what he doesn't have, but he'll be
What about
behind me
for
though.
what about for guys you've played with, teammates, leaders, talents? Who's the one guy that you've played with over the course of the last 18 months, 24 months that you look at and go, I mean, that guy's a difference maker.
Um, I've played with a lot of good players in my class. Maybe my boy Carter had not another shortstop at Aquinas.
I dig it. All right, last question. All those guys that you've played with, showcases, tournaments, the last 2 or 3 years, who's the one guy you would not let date your little sister?
Um, I don't know. That's kind of a mean insult.
Well, here's the thing. You're the first episode of this year, so when this person comes on, they'll have the chance to get you right back.
Um, maybe uh I don't know. It's put me on the spot. It's hard.
It is. It is. How about we'll leave that one unanswered. We'll
Okay.
bring you back. We'll bring you back in March or April, see how things are
Okay.
going.
I'll have
See
an
if
answer then.
let it ruminate. I'll ask you in Long Beach. How's that? You can kind of
Okay.
think about it a little bit and we'll keep it between us.
Okay, we could do
All
that.
right. Hey, listen, Dylan, good luck the rest of the way. Good luck the rest of the summer. I'm excited to see you obviously perform the rest of the summer and next spring, man. I'm a big fan of your game. Looking forward to seeing what's next.
Thank you so much for having me.